Hey everybody, I made it back to Beaverton again. Just exploring more of the west side. I'm actually going to kind of start heading back towards where I was last time I was out exploring. I'm going to ultimately end up in the Tigard area. Geez, there's a lot of street chaos here, and yet not really any traffic. I'm going back into like kind of this cool little old town Beaverton area. I remember going through here, except I was going that way, and I just kind of ended up meandering into nothingness and went home. But I came from that way last time, and now I'm actually going to get up here and turn south. Hotel? Holy crap, this old house. Oh, that's empty. This building looks great. Yeah, here's this building that was quite obviously a theater at some point. I don't know what they're doing to it. It looks like this is a string of vacant buildings. This is right along the beginning. Looks like it's also a garage. The Beaverton Historical District. Officially incorporated 1893. The city was first born over a century ago. Let's bring railroad to the area. Let's describe it as mostly swamps and marsh. Yeah, that sounds about right. Connected by beaver dams. By Twilights and Indians, part of the little bit of history. What do we got here? I don't know what to make of this. Any plaque? Something or other? It's a very interesting conversation these two must be having. Yeah, it takes forever for lights in this freaking part of town to change. I was desperate for a restroom, and then what do you know, the Beaverton City Library was right there. And trust me, I was not the only person going in there just to use the restroom. The guy that went in there before me was definitely not there to check out any books. He was a shady character, if I could say that. I'm actually going to turn and go this way. Hit up a few places I've never seen before on my path. This is a really cute area. Look at this little path. You got a little bench space, open field space. Look at this. This is so nice. And somebody made their fence over here very colorful. It's cool and it's colorful. But there's a sign that says keep out. So no seeing what lurks beyond the colorful fencing. So I don't know. I don't really know what's gonna happen around the corner, but I saw there's like a kind of a memorial park a little off this way. So I'm going down here actually to Erickson Avenue, which I did a video on. By the time I post this, I don't know if I will have posted that one yet, but Erickson Avenue, and it a little ways further north of here, there used to be an old silent film studio there, and I do a whole video about that. So that either has happened or will be forthcoming. If you look right across the street from this intersection, looking southwest, which is kind of off this way, where this house and these houses and all this stuff is now, this is where for about 3.5 to 4 years there was sorry, I have to cross the street. There was a silent film studio right here where these houses are today during the early 1920s. But I'm not going to get super detailed about that because I already did a video about it that as of this recording, I haven't put up yet. So by the time this goes up, I don't know if that one will have done the same. But yeah, all through this area, this was a big silent film studio lot from like 1921 to 1925. I just kind of wanted to do a walk by. It's kind of a cute little area. It's the Evelyn M. Schiffler Memorial Park. I have no idea who that is. She's probably a prominent local Beavertonite. And there's a little park here dedicated to her. So I got past the playground area, so there's actually a little bit more. Those basketball hoops over there. This is nice. This looks like maybe a little bit of a wetland, possibly up here. Yeah, I was back there. I saw two kids and I couldn't see the mother because she was obstructed on the playground equipment. I was looking around and I was like, are there really just two little kids, like 3, 4 years old, just here by themselves? But fortunately there was a parent here. This is very pretty. So it's a little bit of everything. You got the playground, you got sports facilities, you got a little wetland here. You got this, you got BBs, like Butterfinger BBs. Oh, this is recognition of somebody else. I thought maybe this would be in relation to the person the park's named after. Vern and Patricia Williams, who inspired our community to protect this resource for the benefit of future generations. Well, good on you. Alright, so the park comes out. I'm kind of the west end of the park, and I'm just gonna kind of sort of try to find my way back to where I started. I actually think I have to go this way and then like circle around. Oh, this guy's having a good day.
Wait. Wait.
It tells you to wait every like 5 seconds.
Wait.
Alright, so I'm making my way south again, getting closer to Tigard. There's 2 little parks to pass. One's really small on the left. I already see playground equipment, so it's probably more just like a little kid's playground. But then there's Fir Grove Park, which I guess I see Fir Grove around, so I'm wondering if that's this neighborhood. That looks kind of nice off that way. Fortunately, I don't think you can access the park that way. Alright, well this sucks. The map kind of implied there was a street right here. Oh, snap. Look at this. God, I wonder if that's like a whole one of these apartments that just got charred. Because that's a good sized structure, and it's nothing but apartments here. Wow, certainly wasn't expected to turn and see that, but looks like I have to keep on going. These rims look really low. Yeah, I can dunk it. I can't dunk a real basketball hoop. I think this one's more regulation size. But even old and decrepit though I am, I was able to touch that rim. You can still see it shaking. Waddling. Well, ain't this just pretty as can be? Pretty as a peach. Yeah, so I'm taking a long way. I'm seeing a lot of trees dead ahead up here, and I think that's roughly where this park is. Fir Grove Natural Area. It just says Fir Grove Park on my app. Natural area makes it a little bit more classy. There's a playground there, something there for the kids. Ooh, hello. God, there's squirrels everywhere. And as usual, there's somebody doing some kind of yard work. Is this a cover or a rock? Okay, it's just a cover. That was a rock. So it's not too big, but it's definitely a pretty little walk. God, that's something I want. Look at this. This is so old that it's like burrowed into the ground and restarted over there. Like, look at this. It's one with the land. So you know that's been like that a while. But yeah, that's something I want to start doing again. That can only benefit me is like waking up and running. It sucks when you have to get up by 8 o'clock just to make it to work on time. Now of course I can always throw my running clothes on and run most of the way to work. I think it's the real deal. See the no motor vehicle sign popping out? This is definitely a pathway. Yeah, there's a little path here that should take me right to Hall. This is, I don't know, maybe there's just a lot of good nature. This is so interesting. I'm just like zigzagging between homes. Fear me, Beaverton. I've infiltrated your neighborhood and you don't even know that I'm here. If this wasn't such a nice neighborhood, I don't know how I'd feel living on either side of these fences, knowing just any random person could be just wandering here. I mean, I guess at least we know that we have protection. And the big turn. Yeah, and then you just kind of, this is bike path, but this is all the bicycles I need. Safe to cross. Sure is quiet. That's how you know it's safe to cross. That stop, look, listen, that's just for beginners. Here it keeps on going. Oh. This is pretty. And we go into another turn. It's just beelines, and I think dead ahead is Hall Boulevard, so it'll get me back to where I want to be. But this is cool. I wish things like this were more common. It's cool for whatever neighborhood you're in. It's also beneficial for me because I seriously, being able to cut and zigzag like this, I wonder what that sign used to say. This literally probably saved me 5 to 10 minutes of having to go out of my way, or go straight south and then straight east or something like that. And this here is where the trail ends, which is fine because I'm planning on going south, south-ish. Dodge traffic. Dodge traffic. I'm dodging. Oh fuck. Dodged it though. Okay. Otherwise, I would have been stuck there forever. Alright. We got around that crap. So I'm 2 miles from downtown Tigard. Inglewood Park. I guess that's the park I'm in. Thank God for an alternate trail. Look at that, that'd get me nowhere. Just more flooding. I'm out here alone. And I'm in Tigard, and one thing I know is the more isolated you seem to be in a park, the more likely it is you're gonna run into some homeless people. That's at least been my experience so far. I don't know if that's the exception or the rule. Especially with how September's gone, we're running out of pretty days like this, which really sucks because it's gonna be a little harder to vlog for me, especially I don't have a GoPro, so I can't even go out on rainy days and vlog really right now. It's really pretty through just this. I mean, look at how many leaves have already fallen out. I never see this many leaves. I mean, maybe I just haven't paid any close eye. I can't recall any time pre-October that I've seen this many leaves already falling out of the trees. My girlfriend mentioned to me that like yesterday, I can remember it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, that it was the first day that really felt like fall. With the leaves changing color, starting to fall out of the trees, really starting to feel cold. It's not really that cold, it's just none of us up here are used to it being sub 60 yet. rambling. I think I'm officially back in that park that I was in, that I barely got any penetration into because there was a sketchy guy there. What's this? This looks like, there was definitely some structure, maybe a restroom? This is some kind of, I mean, it's gotta be a platform for something, and then there's, I don't know, there was something here once upon a time. Oh man, I'm already down to like 30% on my battery. I don't know how much more. I'm probably gonna end up pretty much where I was coming from the other end the last time I vlogged. And that's about all I'm gonna be able to do. Now the trail looks like it's popping me out into a neighborhood. I'm guessing this is probably that Fano Creek, maybe? Oh, okay. I have to zig a little bit. I see how it is. I was like, where's the trail? Where's the trail? Ah, I'm bugging my eye. Gotcha. Okay, so just a little bit up here. It says that the trail resumes. I came from back there over to here, and now I'm coming this way. I swear I heard a fire alarm going off. Like in this building. This Fano Creek. Obviously, retirement community, I'm guessing. But yeah, once I jump back onto the trail, like the area where I encountered the homeless people was like not that far this way. So I'm wondering if the trail just goes to crap and I just have to go on through. That's reckless, because again, that same campsite's there, that same dude is here, he's already seen me. And then I'm gonna walk right by his homestead. He's gonna be like, that's it. He's gonna come after me with, I don't know, whatever kind of implement he has. Cause see, here's where the trail starts again. And the trail is still paved, it's still nice looking. The trail I was starting to go down was all, it was kind of rough, it was a dirt trail, it almost looked like it didn't necessarily go anywhere. I mean, I think this is the right trail. It doesn't say Fano Creek Trail, but I can only assume. Maybe this just runs kind of parallel to the other one. So yeah, that's a couple times I've referenced that. If you haven't seen a video where I am going through other places around Fano Park and the Tiger Library, I'm just evading homeless people. It's kind of a reoccurring thing. Go back and go check that video out, because I think I broke it into two, but it's yeah, it was an adventure. It wasn't you know, as dramatic as I kind of made it, but especially at the end, you'll be pleasantly entertained by my brush with potential death. Actually, did I come through here? Oh, you know what? I've come through here. I turned this way and I crossed the street. So the street I came to, the place that I went down, was right down here. That makes a lot more sense. So I was literally taking a path into God knows where. Yeah, okay, it makes all the sense in the world. Okay, so I just came from this way because the park trail dumps you out there. But there's a trail that keeps going through here, so I just assumed that was the way I was supposed to go. And that's where I encountered creepy homeless guy. So, yeah, I walked out from, anyway, watch the video. I don't want to give it away. It's definitely more entertaining to see in person. Okay, I'm a little on the fence about what I really want to do. I feel like what I'm about to do is going to leave me getting into downtown Portland and switching transportation hubs like right at the 5 o'clock hour. It's 2:30 right now, but I'm gonna at least walk probably about 3.5 miles before I catch a bus. My phone was starting to act up and I got to the Tigard Transit Center, so I was kind of like, do I just wait for the bus and just call it a day? But I've still got almost a third of a battery left. If you, camera, decide to cooperate. So I'm gonna actually heading back the way I was when I was exploring these parks by Tigard Transit Center, and when the nature park took me forever. It dumped me out on a road called it's Bonita or Bonita. I'm not exactly sure. Bonita. So I don't know exactly which way it's pronounced. And if I go that way, I can cross under I-5, and then I'm practically into Lake Oswego. I'm probably going to go through Lake Oswego another time when I have more camera and whatnot. Just kind of hang out in Lake Oswego for the day for a vlog. I know kind of the east side of Lake Oswego pretty well, but the west side, there's more to see. There's lots of interesting stuff. I got stories I can tell you. But for now, I'm going to save this battery if, again, my camera decides to keep working. And I'm going to stay near the 78 line. And just ultimately, I'm going to get myself back towards Bonita and then pick up from there. So I'm actually back at the nature trail that I wandered, that I encountered all the homeless people on. You may recognize it. This little dirt trail down while that one goes to the library. I'm actually going to go that way again. And why? Because this is where all that math you learned comes into play. We all know, at least we all should know, the fastest way between 2 points is a straight line. I could go straight down Hall and then onto Bonita and go this way, or I can go down this trail which cuts through. I can use this trail as the hypotenuse for the triangle. Hypotenuse is the quickest way. Last time I learned this crap was 2004. No, 2003. But anyway, you see what I'm talking about. Cutting through this nature area will actually probably save me several minutes. And I'm back out on Bonita Road here. Except instead of going that way, I'm going eastbound. This is a cute church. I said it's like the Bonita church. It's cute. Oh boy. Kind of see how everything was where I was before. Well, then you turn and you see this. Do you see this kind of vibe? The sudden tree filling, apartments hidden away. It's just very, very tree covered, very, very relaxed. This is how you know you're getting into Lake Oswego. And you know, I've had a few choice words for Lake Oswego in the past. A lot of it is for fun. Lake Oswego, I think. I'm not 100% sure if it's still the case, but Lake Oswego has always been, I know a lot of lists have bore this out, Lake Oswego is the wealthiest town in Oregon, essentially. Now I have seen like lists that do specific neighborhoods have acknowledged that some Southwest Portland neighborhoods per cap are wealthier than Lake Oswego. Again, even if it's not anymore, because I'm not sure if as of this moment it is, Lake Oswego has always been kind of regarded as like, you know, almost the San Francisco of Portland. So it's where, you know, the standard stereotype is this is where all the rich kids live. When there's plenty of rich kids to go around in terms of just outside of Lake Oswego. But you know, when I was in high school, I was across the river on the east side where all the poor kids were. I mean, some of them more poor than others, but Lake Oswego and Lake Ridge High School, those are like the two main high schools in Lake Oswego. When I was in high school, were in our conference. So, you know, if you could beat the Lake Oswego, if you were the poor kids on the east side that could beat the rich kids on the west side, that was, it was a very satisfying victory to be had. If you beat the other ghetto school up the street from you, you know, that was kind of expected. But, you know, certain sports, you know, Lake Oswego dominated in football. But fortunately for me, being a track guy, Lake Oswego had they were pretty good when I started high school, but by the time I got to be an upperclassman, Lake Oswego's track team was trash. So it felt good to beat Lake Oswego by like, you know, I think my junior year we beat them by like 85 points or something like that. And you can only score 145 meets or points in a meet. So yeah, there's always been, you just kind of have to hate Lake Oswego, especially when you live right across the river from it, which I pretty much, I mean, I've more lived across the river from West Lynn, which is just south of here. West Lynn's plenty bougie itself, but, excuse me. And I remember There's this guy, Travis. He ended up being class president my junior year, and he won because when he showed up to do his speech while everybody was running for the different, student offices, he came rolling in dressed as a homeless person, being pushed along in a shopping cart that was like full of, recyclable soda cans and stuff. And he got out and wearing just these dirty clothes and looking generally like he really was homeless. He did this speech and it was memorable. People didn't forget it. He won easily. So this guy was a student body president. It was my junior year. He was a senior, obviously. And he was such a weird guy. And I remember, he joined the track team, as a lark. He joined the track team, and I think he either quit or got kicked off for being a distraction partway through the season. But our first meet was an invitational. His first ever race, he was a distance runner. And he ran like a 1500 and, pretty much came in last because he wasn't really an athlete. He was just doing it for fun. He wrote his phone number and called me on the side of his arm and ran the race with that on his arm. And I remember South Albany High School was there. Albany's 60 something miles south of Portland. And these two girls from South Albany, I remember seeing them walk over to him in the stands and actually get his number. And this was not, he was smart. He managed to win the student body presidency, but he was not a suave guy. He was not, by conventional standards, a hot guy. But he had that charm. And he ended up giving a couple girls they came to actually get his number off of him. But I remember, this is a terrible thing. This is very, very sexist, but at the time, when you're younger and you're dumber and you hate Lake Oswego, I remember we showed up for the Lake Oswego meet. We went to Lake Oswego High School, and these three girls were leaving the school that obviously went to school there. And they just all had this just kind of, and they saw us showing up, and we're wearing our uniforms, so they know that we're from, the school across the river. And they all just kind of looked at us and were just kind of like, oh, it's those people. Obviously very spoiled, rich, conventionally speaking, hot girls. And they just kind of turned their nose up at us and just kind of wandered on by. And Travis, the student body president of our school, he sees them and he waits for them to pass us, and then they get about 10 feet past him. He turns and he's like, hey! And they all stop and turn back, and he's like, really loudly, so people like a block away can hear him. He goes, "You're a bunch of bitches," or something to that effect. Like, "You're all bitches." In response to their kind of dismissive glare toward us. And I just about fell on my face because I was standing right next to him and I didn't know that was coming. And I literally turned away and was just ducked my head into my arm. I was like, it was another time. So there's open park space this way, but there's a trail on this side. So my plans are changing a little bit. I don't know where this trail is going to take me, but it says park to park trail. Is it telling me this trail is going to take me north? Because I don't want to go north. I don't see this trail marked on my iPhone, so I don't know where this is going to take me. Alright, so I guess it's Waluga Park west on that side, and this is Waluga Park east. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. God, that pimple sticks out like a sore thumb. More than a sore thumb. See, this is nice though. That side, there was a lot more cars parked there. It looked a little bit more like just open space, probably people with their kids. I don't video that stuff. It's probably just part of the park. I'm just coming in on the backside. My hope is this will get me to some road. Again, preferably this direction. I kind of want to go off that way. now I'm climbing hills again. It's not too bad, but I'm getting wiped out. I forgot to eat again. I had to stop at a 7-Eleven, get some food and drink. When I get to the top here, I'm hooking a little bit to the left, and there's a big park there, and hopefully once I cut through there, I'll be in line with the 78 if I want to catch it. Worst case, I catch the 35 and Lake Oswego, but I'm really getting wiped out. And I only got like 15% life with my battery, so I'm literally just gonna go till it dies. After all that climbing, this is Springbrook City Park. That's what it's called. As I'm climbing up the hills, bougie old houses. So it's a city park, but yeah, there's a lot of people here, which makes sense. It's more of a city park. I honestly don't know where I'm going. That way just seemed to go too far north. This might just literally wrap me around and take me back down to where I started though. The trails are marked, but my map app doesn't have them marked. This is real pretty and real nice. I'm getting so wiped out. I'm so glad I'm near the end, but the seclusion a little bit from the sun, along with that kind of gentle breeze, is working its wonders on me. I just hope I'm not leading myself astray. Okay, straddling the road, which is what I'm pretty sure I want to be doing. I think the runners are more staying back that way, so I might have a trail to myself a little bit. This is a pretty good sized park though. I like. Definitely a place I could get lost in. My first time or two passing by. Does this just bring me out here? Does it? Okay, well it looks like it just dumped me back on the road. Probably a little sooner than I wanted. Where am I? There's Wembley Park Road over there. Well, that doesn't help me. There's no map here. I don't even know where I am. I don't want to go back that way. That's in the wrong direction. That's fine. If I see another trail going back in, I'll take it. But otherwise, I got a pretty good view of the park. And I want to make sure, I'm pretty sure I want to keep going this way. And I'm back on my side of town. Sorry everyone, my camera should have had a little life left in her. She came back on, camera had on my iPhone. My iPhone's getting old, but it gets real weird with coolness, and I think the fact that I was in a lot of shaded area, it's dipped below 60 for the first time in a while. I don't know, for some reason it was doing what it usually does in the winter where it just dies. It's like I can't handle the coolness. I don't know. So, you know, I barely got to Lake Oswego before she just died out on me, and I kind of just gave up, caught the bus in Lake Oswego, and now I'm almost home. So yeah, it was a little chaotic. I want to get a new camera. My GoPro's acting up. It's probably seen its best days. Probably not going to use it much more. This iPhone is inevitably going to crap out on me at some point. I really want to upgrade. Obviously, I don't have any money. I can't do it right now, but I eventually want to spend at least a little bit of money and get a somewhat decent, like 4K camera that'll probably have more space than this iPhone and better battery life. So it'll make, especially longer excursions like this, a lot easier to do without having to stop and charge your phone for a long time, without having to stop and dump footage, and not having to revolve so much of your day knowing inevitably you're probably going to have to stop before you want to, because either your phone's going to die on you or you're not going to have any space left on your phone. The day inevitably ends and the adventures inevitably end with them, but it's nice to be able to go as long as you can. Now, actually today, I was stunned. I probably walked, during these like really long excursions I've been going on, I walked maybe 8 to 10 miles. Today, I walked, my phone said I walked almost 12 and a half miles. And that includes all the times my phone died on me, in which, you know, one particular period of time I had it in my pocket for like 30 minutes and was walking the whole time. I probably walked 14 to 15 miles today. I didn't really know it till I finally got to the Lake Oswego Transit Center, and I could just feel my muscles straining. And then I was on the bus for a while, and when I got off the bus, I was just like, but I managed to keep going. And now I'm almost home. So it's kind of a scatterbrained venture. Again, I really mostly did. I was kind of not really planning on vlogging today, but I did it because I was feeling really stressed. Yesterday sucked, and I knew if I stayed home I probably would have been okay, but I feel like I would have just been restless. I would have ended up leaving and going somewhere eventually anyway, just to keep my sanity. So this was good. Anyway, now that that sun's behind the building, it is getting really freaking cold outside. It may be the last day of September, but it's still freaking September. Why is it so freaking cold? Anyway, as always, guys, remember, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Hit up my Patreon if you want to help me out that way. And, all things considered, people, till next time, this has been Steve, the Amateur Historian.